Death, dummies, and hair all have one thing in common.
Let's talk about that. Good mythical morning.
I just gave the double thumbs up at the beginning of that, and I
That's
immediately
optional.
I regretted it.
That's appropriate.
The moment the thumbs went up,
You should have regretted
it's like, no thumbs, don't go up.
You should do thumbs down just to make it right. Yeah,
No,
there
not,
you go.
I mean, that sends the wrong message too. Thank you for being here. This is a double thumbs up type of a day. No matter what type of day and what time of day it is, it's a mythical morning. I was driving down Hollywood Boulevard the other day.
As you do?
As I does.
Yeah,
You know,
as
like,
you're known to do.
yeah, if you're a tourist and you hang out, you're liable to just, I'm the guy with the sunglasses and the rag top down.
The NASCAR sunglasses.
The hair
Now that
waving.
your prescription glasses were lost.
Yeah, I've got a problem. That's another story for another time, Rhett. For now, I'm saying that I looked to my right and I saw something weird. The Museum of Death, the Death Museum. There is a Death Museum in Los Angeles. Now,
Awesome.
I didn't stop the car and go inside, but I did immediately come home and go on the Google and figure out some more information about this place, which led me and us to amass
Me and us.
a list of amazingly crazy museums. That's what I'm calling them. Museums you have to visit if you're weird.
So we're gonna go to these museums virtually right now, and you can make plans for your summer vacation and find ways to freak you and your family out this summer.
It's like you've got information about the Museum of
Death,
actually.
Yeah, Museum of Death. It is in Hollywood. That's why you saw it on Hollywood Boulevard. It was opened in 1995.
Big skull on the outside.
It's a museum completely devoted to death. Not really a celebration of death, just death exhibitions. Now, no one is actually being killed or murdered at any point in the museum. But it does have things like the world's largest collection of serial murderer artwork, the guillotine severed head of French serial killer Henri Désiré Landru. It has a dude's head that actually came off in the guillotine.
That's pretty cool. And
That's
gross.
pretty cool. I'd like to see
The
that.
artwork from serial killers, not so much. The head of a serial killer, yes.
Body bag and coffin collection, replicas of full-size execution devices. My favorite, taxidermized pets. I always say, I don't like pets, but I'll take a taxidermized pet.
Will they sell?
No, but they have them there. I'm just saying they don't poop and pee, and you know you
Sure.
can pet them, and they're always
Sure.
there. They never
Sure.
get lost unless you just put them in somewhere and forget about them. And also videos of autopsies. One of my personal favorites, always suggested to me while I'm watching Netflix. It comes up. You would like videos of autopsies.
This place is not for me.
Okay, but it is a self-guided tour. You could take about 45 minutes or more, and the kids are welcome. I'm thinking about visiting this and then making it a disciplinary device. Kids, if you don't straighten up, we're going back to the Museum of Death. I'm a good father.
You are. That was not for me. But I have found one. If you know my secret passion and my fallback in life for an occupation is to be a hairstylist. So
Yeah, looking forward to that phase.
Leilas Hair Museum in Independence, Missouri. You can go to leilashairmuseum.net if you want to know more. And the .net is not a pun.
Really?
It's just the website.
Missed opportunity.
Like hairnet. Did you get it?
Yeah, I got it.
Leila Cohoon is a hairdresser. And her museum is not the history of hairdressing. Her museum is hair sculptures and artwork. Now, I did not know that this existed, but since like Victorian times, back in like the 12th century, people would take hair and make wreaths and all types of things. I mean, first of all, here's a picture of her holding a hair wreath. Now, that just looks like
It's beautiful.
but if you look
I'm
up...
talking about her. And her
I would really like to
hair
meet her.
sculpture.
If you look up the wreath up close, it's just like a lot of mangled hair that's been braided and moved into certain positions.
She's a woman. She's a woman. I was gonna say she's a genius. She's also a woman. Newsflash: she's a woman.
Now she didn't make all of these. She collected these. These are actual historical pieces because especially before the
She's still a
advent
woman.
of photography, people would take hair of loved ones, deceased loved ones, and make it into things that they could frame or wear as jewelry.
I'm planning on doing that with you. I've been thinking about that for years, about what I'm going to do with your hair after you die.
Well, I cut I cut my hair, and it all lays down there on the floor. You do this too, right?
Yeah.
We should be collecting this stuff.
Sending it to this
This is
woman.
a legitimate form of art. I think it could be creepy, but I'm fascinated by it, and I would certainly love to meet Leilas. She
We'll
seems
go
like
one
an
time.
interesting woman.
Next time you're in Fort Mitchell, Kentucky, stop by the Venthaven Ventriloquist Museum, opened in 1973 by a guy named William Shakespeare Berger. Unfortunate name, but he is a ventriloquist, so that makes up for it. He's the president of the International Brotherhood of Ventriloquists, which is something I've always aspired to join, except I'm not really into the ventriloquist part. This museum is the only one of its kind, has 800 figures, like dummies in there, and I will tell you right now, there is not any amount of money that you could pay me to spend the night alone in this place. Because I would have to stare at things like Sammy, Jack.
I mean, why can't you close their eyes when they're not in use? That's the problem.
You can put a blindfold on them. But I don't want to be around them because I know those creepy eyes are under there. But the
sleeping masks on them?
The worst of all that I did not want to spend any time with at night or any other time is Maisie. Look at Maisie. What?
Ooh.
Good gracious, Maisie. What is wrong with you?
Okay. All right. Next place for me that I'm going to visit, come with me to Boston, Massachusetts to go to the Museum of Burnt Food. It turns out, I think anybody can make a museum. If you have a weird collection and then you want to rent space and, just make it a museum. That's what Deborah, who happens to be an electric harpist,
that's
an accomplished electric harpist, she was making some hot apple cider, okay? And then she gets on the phone, this is the backstory, and she comes back way too late and realizes this thing has burnt into some 3D sculpture of apple cider that now is the calling card of her burnt food museum.
Feud is like the logo now.
Yeah, it is. And here's some other exhibits. Waffle in the round, burnt waffle. Hash blacks.
Ha ha, that's good.
And these are burnt green beans on what looks to be some sort of Bronze Age ashtray.
We could send something to this pretty easily, I think. I burn stuff all the time.
Seriously, you can. You can send things to her.
Let's burn something.
And if it's legit, by her standards,
if it's actually burnt, we'll take it.
It can be included.
If you just spray painted it black, we're not going to take it. Okay, this one's going to freak you out a little bit. If you're in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, you can visit the Mutter Museum and you will be scarred for life. This thing was started in 1858.
Mutter Museum?
Mutter. Like one who makes mutts, I guess. He's like a dog breeder. Actually, no, it was a guy named Dr. Mutter who gave a gift back in 1858 to start this thing at the College of Physicians of Philadelphia. Now, it's essentially just a museum full of medical oddities. There's a lot of things that we cannot show on Good Mythical Morning. It's a family show. But there are some things we can talk about, and I can show a couple of things.
Okay.
I don't think we have a picture of this, but it houses the world's largest pimple.
Hey.
I'm not kidding. They have like the skin of the pimple. They've got it
How's that
in
even possible?
formaldehyde. I don't know. Some guy was like, hey, I got the world's largest pimple. You should cut it off and put it in liquid right now so we can put it in this museum. It has a skull collection, a whole wall of skulls with individual skulls and then how people died. That's really uplifting. One of the only places on Earth, one of two places that actually has pieces of Albert Einstein's brain. So if you wanted to look at really smart brain, you can see that.
How does anyone get a hold of Einstein's brain?
I don't know.
Much less this place.
This place has got lots of pull. But the most intriguing thing they have is they actually have the largest defecation ever taken for medical purposes.
I knew this was going to happen.
This is the largest dump in the world for medical purposes. So I know there's a lot
And now you know the reason for this entire episode. So Rhett could talk about this.
A lot of you guys out there, sometimes you take a big one and you're like, wow, that probably just set a record. Well, if it
Instagram.
If it wasn't for medical purposes, it doesn't count. But if you want to go up there and put on a hospital gown and say, I'm here to take a dump for medical purposes, and I want to go for the record, buddy, go to Philadelphia and walk into the Mutter Museum and see how they treat you.
And I don't think that they're asking for submissions of that kind. So I'm just going to balance that a little bit.
I'm working one up right
I don't
now.
want Mythical Beasts to be lining up outside of the door.
Okay, support the show by signing up for a hassle-free mobile phone experience with Ting.
Thanks for liking and commenting on this episode. You know what time it is.
Hi, my name's Miranda.
My name's Melissa.
And this is Puka. We're from Stevie Valley, California, and it's time to spin the wheel of mythicality.
We've got a new video over on the Rhett and Link channel. It's called...
That's not what it's called. It's called What Your Fridge Says About You.
And it has a little twist at the end that you better stick around for.
So click to that, but first click through to Good Mythical Morning where we've got some honorable mentions of museums that will make your mind go bonk bonker.
Rhett types a text on Link, his giant phone. Oh, golly.
Golly, what? What are you? No, let's not dance right now. Come on, man. What? Yeah. What am I, the Pillsbury Doughboy? What?
Just say what I'm say. I'm texting on you. You're the phone, remember?
Boop, 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 boop.
Send.
Ring.
Send. Send.
Ring.
Send.
Ring.
I hate when the button
Ring.
doesn't work. I hate when the button.
Ring. Ring. Hey. Boop, 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 boop,
Hey,
boop.
I'm not a phone.
Boop, boop, boop.
I'm not a phone.
What do we have here? Last night's leftover chicken casserole, meat in loaf fashion, broccoli and Brussels sprouts, and a little Riesling to take the edge off. Any guesses?
It's like Bruce Lee, man.
Like that girl from
used to
the
watch
self-defense video.
Enter the Dragon. Do you know that you actually do that? You go right into the eyeballs.
That's why they call it Enter the Dragon, because your hand enters the dragon.